Being silent, again, going back to the ayah I mentioned at the beginning of the khutbah, that we have to stand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to stand for justice, to stand for the truth, to stand for those who are being wronged. And if we're still staying silent, that's the lowest levels. As the Prophet ﷺ told us, whoever sees injustice should change it with their hand. If they can't with their hand, then with their tongue. They should encourage against it, or forbid with their tongue at least that is happening, that is wrong. And the least, the Prophet ﷺ tells us, and if not, then they should hate it in their heart, and that is the lowest level of faith. If we are not even reflecting on this, if we are not even feeling that hatred towards injustice in our hearts, what does that tell us? Where are we on the scale that the Prophet ﷺ drew for us between changing something with action, changing something with words, or just the bare minimum is hating it, hating that something wrong is happening, that people are being treated unjustly? If we fall below that threshold, we fall below the threshold that the Prophet ﷺ set as the lowest levels of Iman, the weakest levels of Iman. And again, I just find myself keeping and going back and drawing the idea that this stamp of the colonial project was, we see it with our brothers and sisters in Palestine, of trying to erase any culture, any religious portions, anything that belonged to the people then, trying to bury it, trying to hide its existence, trying to steal parts of it when to whatever they like or want to out of it. You see the same thing was happening here. The idea of they want to take the Indian out of the child, meaning, if this child was to stay alive, they want them to not be who they were before. They want them to no longer be of anything other than what this colonial mindset wanted them to be. One thing that I think is very cruel about this system that happened as well is that this idea broke down families, broke down generations, built a gap between them. I mean, that was the whole idea of it. The whole idea was to separate children from their parents, as they're trying to, again, remove their culture from them, creating that disconnect between them and their families. But other than that cultural and generational disconnect, think of the harm, think of the sorrow and the sadness. Again, if you woke up tomorrow and someone took your child, may Allah not make it something that happens to any of us. Such a difficult position to be in. But it really created this generational issues, these generational issues. It created these problems that live on even beyond what happened in those schools. So we see the people who went through those schools. First of all, there were many, I think the last estimate is about 20,000 graves found. I should double check this, but around 20,000 graves of children were found going through these schools.